I started out in sales, I worked in a retail stereo shop. So one evening I was working the display floor, the shop floor, when a young man came in to look at stereos. And he said, well, what would these speakers sound like with this receiver? So I lugged those speakers over and hooked them up, and he listened to it for a minute. And he said, well, how about if we put this turntable on it? So we put a different turntable on the system, and then he went over to another receiver and wanted to hear what different speakers would sound like. And well, for about an hour he had me moving up stuff all over that store. And finally, getting kind of tired, I said, well, are you ready to buy one of these systems? And he looked at me and he said, no, I'm just kind of looking, but thanks, man. And he left. Another hour and a half later, I was finally done putting all the displays back together. And that brings us to selling tip number 22, you deserve compensation. You know, in that scenario, it would have been much smarter for me to sometime early on in the process have asked the question like, you know, if I put together a system you like, are you going to buy it? So my point is when you're dealing with a customer, you're not a slave to that customer to just be at their beck and call and do whatever they say, at least not without getting some kind of a commitment from them or a concession. What I mean by that is you should be asking a question like, if I can put together a proposal that meets your needs, do you have the budget to buy it? Those are the kind of questions that will tell you whether or not you have someone who is worth doing all this work for. The best time to get a concession or a commitment from a customer, from a prospect, is when they ask you for something. Don't miss those opportunities, or else you'll wind up with very little to show for it. So until the next time, go out and get better, one skill at a time.